Some systems are not designed. They settle like dust on architecture, familiar, inescapable. Authority does not always begin with a speech. Sometimes it's a pause before speaking, a silence passed from parent to child, a law no one remembers writing, only following. These systems do not announce themselves. They are inherited, codes passed quietly through generations, too embedded to question, too familiar to name. They do not announce, they enforce through expectation. To decode them is not to discover intention, it is to witness accumulation. There are rules culture doesn't write down, it rehearses them. A bowed head, a chore done before asking, a seat taken in the back row. These are not quirks of personality, they are echoes. Protocols, not preferences, scripts, not spontaneity. No textbook explains why you soften your tone at customs, or why rest feels awkward until it is earned. Trust is not a policy, it is a memory of how safety once felt, and what was once survival becomes etiquette. Institutions, then, are not inventions. They are rituals made solid, architecture shaped by centuries of unwritten consensus. The rules we obey are older than the flags we salute. Post-Soviet states often carry forward institutional DNA not designed for civic pluralism. Bureaucracies echo centralized command structures even when the facade is democratic. They enforce control through paperwork, privileging loyalty over adaptability. Democracies often inherit procedural habits, slow-moving bureaucracies, queues coded as fairness, and backlogs treated as acceptable cost. Timeliness is prized, yet delay is rationalized. A legacy of systems built to moderate risk rather than optimized trust. We often perceive a dissonance. Reforms update the interface, but the default logic persists beneath. Friction isn't failure. It is the drag of misaligned timelines when ideals are current but expectations were formed in the past. Every civic body is a haunted archive. Its rules remember what its language has forgotten. A bureaucracy does not bloat by accident. It inherits the need to control volatility. An over-regulated space once feared the chaos of the unregulated. A passive institution was taught over generations that presence invites punishment. These traces remain. Germany's basic law was shaped as both a legal framework and a moral reset. It is a civic architecture born from rupture, not continuity. France's administrative centralism reflects the Napoleonic legacy of control through structure, elegant in form, but slow to decentralize power. Portugal's quiet bureaucracy reflects decades of authoritarian rule. Political memory taught caution over speed, and consensus was shaped through avoidance more than assertion. Poland's layered institutions still wrestle with the legacy of imposed rule. They balance European integration with deep-rooted reflexes of suspicion towards centralized power. We say we design, but mostly we translate. Most reform is a cosmetic layer on an untouched engine. A platform may invite everyone, but if it was trained on data from exclusion, the invitation is a glitch. A civic system may promise trust, but if its foundations were built on fear, transparency becomes theater. Legibility is not a user experience problem, it is a cultural reckoning. Real updates require confrontation with the ghost layer, the version that still believes old problems are proof of order. To redesign, we must remember, not romantically, but architecturally. We must trace what the system once rewarded, what it once feared. Only then can we rewrite it consciously and intentionally. Some inherit tools, others inherit warnings. Most inherit procedures without origin stories. Illegible systems endure because they feel natural, not because they are just. They do not dominate, they regulate, they do not crash, they postpone. But even the most ancient rhythm can be interrupted by a different breath. Every system continues until someone remembers it was built, not born.